Don't unmute me. We were saying dirty things to everybody.
That's what we do, because it's D&D night. Oh, hi, Internet.
Oh,
Hi.
Hello
We're
there.
fine. We're fine. Everything's fine.
Everything's
a
fine.
little
Everything's fine.
Everything's
to the
not fine.
show.
Get
Oh
some
gosh.
music kicking here. Maybe. There you go. Virtual memory function.
Everything's fine.
It's fine. It's fine.
Oh,
Hi,
it's
I'm Ray Tug, and this is my weird old D&D game.
We're not screaming internally.
What? I figured that if you guys were going to be screaming internally, it would have probably happened at some point during the huge ass 10-room dungeon while you were all fucking level 1.
Oh, no, that's fine. It's personal interaction.
Heaven
Yes.
forbid.
That's definitely a very haram thing to say.
Well,
Socialize? Ew.
that's the thing, Raytog. I'm always screaming internally.
You wouldn't like me when I'm frightened. I wouldn't like me when I'm
That's my
frightened.
secret. I'm always angry.
Hi, cat.
Hello, everybody. Look,
Hello, cat.
Meow. Everyone.
this be our goofy D&D Galactic game where I suffer my favorite fantasy and science fiction tropes upon my good friends right here.
Doesn't that sound good?
Sounds weird. Ha.
Excellent. Excellent.
How does it feel to make it past level 1, guys?
Oh,
Powerful.
fantastic.
It makes me wonder how hard it is to get to level 3. You
Yep.
sadistic douche.
We're gonna find out.
Oh no.
Well, just walk out the front door and start swinging.
That technically will probably do it. You'll either go down swinging or level up. One of the two.
If I kill the guild master, will I get level 3?
You're not gonna kill the guild master.
Good fucking luck, buddy.
Oh, no.
He knows. He
I
knows.
know.
Well, two of you, well, one of you knows real well. But yeah. So might as well get the pleasantries out of the way. It's been a week since I've seen all my good friends in alphabetical order of our characters because that's just how it's lined up in Roll20. Let's just do this. So, Harambe, my good friend, how you been? What's been going on, man?
I've been pretty good. I had today off for Memorial Day,
Nice.
and coincidentally, now people are setting off fireworks outside my house. So that's
that's
like the
Memorial
perfect way
Day.
to. Yeah, that's a perfect way to bring in.
They're celebrating that you're level 2. That's it. Yeah.
Yes.
You
Also,
did it! Yay!
Happy Memorial Day, everybody.
Yes.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
I am playing Alden Goodbarrel, who is a tiny guy with a big heart and a whole big drinking problem.
Small brain.
Alden
Small brain.
Goodbarrel.
He's got a small body, but his liver is getting busy. Who we got? Daisy. Thank you.
Hi, Daisy.
Daisy, mate.
Hi, Daisy.
Thank
All I
you
can
very
think of
much.
now is Lil Abner.
Daisy's my sponsor. She poured my glass.
My name is Missouri, and I don't have a problem.
Ooh, and I'm a very good person. Builder.
That is some skunky beer.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
I'm supposed to ask Matt how you're doing, but boy. Matt, what's going on, buddy? How you been?
I'm here. I'm all right. We're good.
Uh-oh.
I'm exhausted.
Yeah, you had a fun trip, I believe.
I did. Yeah. I went down to a place called the City Museum in St. Louis, and it's a super duper fun place where my kids climb through tubes and I climb through tubes, and now I'm bruised because I'm old. Like an
Series of
old banana.
tubes.
We're reminded that we are too old for this nonsense.
I am too old.
But other than that, I am good. I am ready for D&D. And on this Memorial Day, I'm really just happy
You
that
son
we're
of a
level
bitch.
2.
Oh, absolutely fucking lovely. Oh, who we got next? Fee. So Mizui, how are you?
Of course, it's me, right? After Matt shows us
Yep.
his true colors.
Yep.
America, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
America.
Oh god. I have not been murdered by this cold. I am
Yet.
surviving. Yet. Well, I see a professional tomorrow who's gonna help me not be murdered.
Good.
So it's all
Good.
good. Tomorrow, and then by next time, I should feel magically better.
As long
So
as
you were
you're
talking
taking care
about
of
being
yourself.
sick. You said murdered, and I'm like, oh no. What's going
Oh,
on?
it's the political assassins. We don't talk about it.
I was gonna say she found my assassins.
The ninjas have come.
Not until the next arc. Shit. They're on
But yeah,
to me.
no, I'm surviving. I'm doing okay. And I play Fiera, who is a level 2 cleric now. We're
Yup.
very excited.
Oh
We're
shit.
so
Hold up.
powerful.
Hold up. I gotta go through and change all that, because that's a thing now. Level 2
Yeah.
cleric. There it is. I'm gonna go
Mhm.
back and get that on everybody.
Yeah, she is excited to hear that they are accepting of all pantheons of gods in the
Mhm.
guild, and that there are no exclusions. All faiths are welcome. She's very pleased, and we'll see what happens.
Except for hers. Specifically.
Mm-hmm. We will see what happens.
I mean, she didn't say that. She said all.
I'm sorry, I'm distracted by
Also,
the
what
cat.
kind of religion looks down upon other religions? That would be dumb.
A lot.
No, I don't
Hey,
know what you're.
I'll have you know.
There is no religion on this here earth that looks down on any other religion as inferior to them.
Exactly. That would be dumb.
Would be
Counterproductive.
dumb.
And hypocritical if they're indeed their patron saint, so to speak. Even said, don't look down on other people, but no, there is no religion like that.
Yeah, nobody would do that.
And that's why I can make
Hypocrisy
shit work
isn't
the
a
way I
thing.
want it to in my world. It's mine.
This is why I joined a cult.
well,
Uh,
plot.
it's
Ah,
funny.
that almost came up my nose. Thanks.
Excellent. Speaking
You're
of,
welcome.
Speaking
Seamus,
of
buddy.
cults,
Yeah, Seamus, buddy, how you doing?
I am doing
Let me change
Terrible.
to level 2 here.
terrible.
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 You
I feel
distracted by
older.
something?
I feel older.
Yeah,
That
That's because I believe our gentleman here may have just had a birthday recently.
Yes.
Now, fortunately, this is the internet, and they can't hire a whole bunch of waiters to come around and sing happy birthday.
Thank fucking God.
But we
But
can
Instead,
try.
you have a whole
But there's a
D&D
whole
party
bunch
to
of
sing
friends
happy
right
birthday.
here.
No,
that
I can leave this call right now.
He would, and it would totally mess up my whole overlay. So don't do it. No,
Hey, to
he did it. He did it.
He warned us.
He's back
He did
on.
warn us. He did warn us. But seriously, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Preparing for a barbecue and
Nice.
buying stuff for that. But beyond that, no, I'm good. Still waiting for a certain person's miniature to come in that hasn't come in yet.
Ooh.
So
Fashionably late is
Oh, yeah,
my
yeah.
middle
Mizui,
name.
just hurry it up. Come on. He's got getting to do.
You can't rush perfection.
Speaking of perfection,
but
it's
you
right
can,
behind you.
but you
Mizui.
can move a little faster.
Perfection is right behind you, Mizui. By the way. Yep. Kitty face.
Favorite to kitty.
We love cats on this stream.
Is he-
We all love cats. Is my cat up here? Yep. You can't really see much of my cat because my cat is KO right now, knocked out. Those are feet.
Okay, Koshik, you're getting wiggly.
Getting wiggly. So speaking
wiggly.
speaking of wiggly, Blood, how you doing, man? As I-
I'm, still stuck in Ohio.
I feel like that's gonna be a through
I
line.
moved back. I moved back after a few years, and you just got to get used to occasionally in your house mirrors appearing where you never put them, and
Sounds like Ohio.
that not to stare too long because then something will start moving towards you, and you just need to remember to stop looking, cover up the mirror, and walk away.
As long as
But,
you don't say
it's a
the
process.
word, as long as
It's a
you don't say the
process.
word Buckeye 5 times in the mirror, you'll be fine.
Everything is fine in Ohio.
Absolutely fine.
Nothing
Everything's
strange
fine
is
in
going on
Ohio.
in Ohio. Don't look
There's
too
no
closely
war
at
in Ohio.
Oh my gosh. Alright.
Mm,
And as I go to change your level from 1 to 2, wonderful wife, what's going on? How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Got the day off. Got tomorrow off, as usual. I'm Tia, or Jen, whichever you prefer to call me. I play Yasana, the Reborn Warlock. And I've got some digging to do.
Yeah, you do. It's gonna be a fun night.
Patrons can be fun.
Everything with this whole event is gonna be fun because boop.
Graduation day.
Worse.
Oh no.
Here. Oh
Worse.
no.
Prom?
Training montage.
Sort of. A little bit. So this, the inspiration for this episode, besides just generally wanting to get a little bit more breather time and a little bit more roleplay when we had been inundated with a dungeon that lasted many episodes, I, as a DM, had always found it a little, like, kind of gamey that whenever you just gained enough experience points, you just get new powers, like in the middle of like say a dungeon or something.
Well, to be fair, Tog, it is in fact a game.
Yeah,
Yeah, but it's his game and he's gonna do it different.
a little bit, and that's actually my point. To level up in this game, it actually takes the idea of leveling up in an RPG. Your skills grow, you get new full-blown powers. You kind of need to practice and train and do stuff. We don't need to have it be full-blown Dragon Ball Z montages, but you do need some time to yourself to get things in order to power up, if you will. I love that. I love that background bullshit.
Hyper Bali Time Chomper.
That, I'll consider it. Consider it. In a little bit. So, when last we left off, everybody got introduced to their individual class trainers. The halls of the Adventurers Guild that let those of each individual class gain new ranks. Oh no. We're not doing sports montages. We do not need training montages. We're going to do vignettes instead.
But 80s montage.
Let me find my Eye of the Tiger screens.
So, on that, each of you are of different classes. Each of you have a different profession that you would take time in to better yourself. On that, you've been briefly introduced to your trainers, and some of you have met other people of your particular class already. And I guess the easiest way to do this would be to do a quick round robin of who wants to go through their little effective training, the act of learning how to do new things to get to be officially recognized in the Adventurers Guild as a level 2 blank. You got to take time to do it. So, I guess the fun question is, who wants to go first? Or are we just gonna roll for this?
We should roll
I think
for
we
it.
should roll for it.
I think we should roll for
Yep.
it. There's no.
We could like decide, but like what?
That wouldn't be fun.
Roll a d20.
Nah.
Yeah.
So that would be a D6 for
Six.
just me. So it's gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
that
and
makes
6.
sense. You're
There's
smart,
6 of you.
man.
Let's see what happens. Who we got? Who we got? Ah! So, as the one who was most interested in figuring out how this Mr. Miyagi shit was going to work out,
Me.
Blood, you are actually up first. Just going in order. Oh my god. Oh, it had to be the supernatural one too.
Perfect.
Oh my god.
It's the best.
Terrible, and I love it.
Nothing's
Love
better.
it. Love it.
So, you, Blood, have been
Me.
Yutatsu, I should say. Get into character here. It has been a little less hard than you figured to get settled into the fighters side of things. For the most part, it is just the straight up militant arm of the AG, right? There's not a lot of spellcraft going on. There's not a lot of book learning to do unless it's on military tactics. When you split off from your group and started meeting up with, as I get all of these tabs ready, because you guys got people that you've met. You originally met up with the leader of your particular profession is a fighter that goes by Sloan. As I'm going to adjust this here. Get her over there.
The one with the cake. I can say that because she's not my trainer.
You can say that because she is out of earshot.
Yes.
All I can think of now is Starbomb's Regretroid playing in my head.
That covers it.
Wouldn't be completely wrong. Sloan is a very go figure, takes no shit, a very militant sort of individual. Very straight to the point, very like not really a lot of small talk. The first thing that had happened when you had come in is after he had dropped everybody else off, of all people that would come in and also get involved with all this, it was our good friend Sarge, also of the same practitioner. And these big armored motherfuckers had come up to you and basically found like a bench seat. And with Sarge kind of off to the side, as the one who trains new fighter recruits, Sloan would like sit down like across from a tactical table with you, and just helmet stays on, kind of meets your gaze, and asks, "Why did you join this guild?"
It seemed like the best place hone my skill.
Well, I'm happy to inform you that it is the best place. That was never in question, but I am more interested in why. Why do you want to hone your skills? What is your goal? What do you hope to achieve here?
Someone in my position, there are little chances to gain honor. Your guild has many legends of such people. It seemed expedient.
You wouldn't be wrong. This may be a very silly question, but I am not one to assume things. You are of Dracaris, yes?
I am.
Is
that a problem?
It is very much not a problem. You would be probably impressed by the diversity of the Fighters Guild. We have very literally all sorts that come through here. I only ask because fighting style is, as you would assume, a very large point of interest here. And I want to make sure that when you train, you will train the way that you want to, and you will train the way that you want to progress. You seek honor for your people.
I seek honor for my family. For myself. I've been trained by my father since I was but a hatchling. Continuing that training will not be an issue. Simply finding a place to advance those skills and to use them would be. I am not allowed to join the ranks of the Emperor's army as of now.
I see. Well, you'll be happy to hear that those of Dracaris have practiced and kept their techniques and styles very close to the chest. You know this. But I'm sure you also know they are not the only practitioners of your arts. It has spread to the wider system. Very slow trickles. There are not many outside of your world that fight the way that you do. You'll be happy to know. And you can't see her face. You can't see Sloane's face exactly, but you can tell that under that mask there's probably a shit-eating grin happening. You will be happy to know that I think I have a sparring partner for you. And she stands up and walks out of the room as if to go fetch someone.
Do I just stay here? Oh, okay, you go.
Sarge is still in the room with you. And there's a little, oh no.
Go on.
He laughs a little. Well, son, how much you know about the people in this place?
I've been here for less than 24 hours.
That's
I know some are rude, some are friendly, and that you all need to invest in better toilets.
I hate to be the one to tell you, but I have seen the security feed. Besides that, there are kind of tears and a lot of
Toilets?
family run lines. When somebody of a family joins the Adventurers Guild, they tend to keep producing members that also join the Adventurers Guild. I think I know who she is going to get, and I think you need to prepare yourself. He walks up and like puts a big old hand on your shoulder, very similar to the left hand that you saw a robotic form of him try and beat the shit out of Builder a while ago. And he leans down close and goes, I'm pretty sure that he is talking about the little sister of the head of the barbarians. Good luck. He pats his shoulder, and then
It means nothing to me.
the door opens again, and Sloane returns with somebody else in tow. You see a well, this is probably just going to make it easiest on you. It is a definitely shorter than you, orcish girl. Very like the green skin is so dark that it's almost almost a black olive. And well, banner flag on her back. Same sort of armor as you. And just like she'll walk in the room and just kind of like Mad Dog stares you down.
Patsy would stand up, turn, and give a polite bow.
And without even there isn't even a thinking about it. It's just a simple reaction. Like she does the exact same thing, hand on her weapon, but like completely still locking eyes with you as she does it. And Sloane just kind of sits and looks between the two of you and lets out a little laugh. The training pit is this way. So, in lieu of actually conducting a full-blown fight, because if everybody had full-blown fight sequences in their training montages, this would take a very long time. I'm going to have you, Tatsu, just give me
roll.
Athletics check.
Okay,
We'll just do this with skill checks.
Oh, there it is. Are you fucking...
You rolled a 3. So, this is how...
I rolled a 16, and then whatever devil is in this box.
Hey, devil box. So, today...
Sorry.
Robots!
This is why we can't have nice things, Builder.
So, you're taken down to a fighter pit, and it's like almost akin to like it'll remind you almost like a wrestling ring, like full blown like squared circles with like lasered off things instead of ropes. So it's like a square, very very precisely cut thing. And you and Azuka square off, and sparring begins. Training weapons. And Tatsu came into this whole situation pretty without ego. But you had done pretty well for yourself so far. Today was just apparently meant to be the day that you would get humbled. And this orcish lady kind of kicks the shit out of you, but not in the sort of way that was intended to be embarrassing or like downplaying or anything. You haven't seen these kind of techniques or precision outside of like your dad's training grounds. Wherever this person has trained, it's the same training, and she got good. She got fast. And you get bested several times, but she isn't quiet about it. And she's not roaring and like mocking you. She's surprisingly actually a pretty good teacher. She's like, after a counter that goes wrong, she'll like crack you in the like in the elbow with the training stick, like angle up here, and run you like through again and again and again these things. And as this keeps going on, eventually you start to be able to keep up more. She seems to be like hitting you more times than should be able to within the bounds of like that speed. And eventually you start keeping up. It takes a lot of welts and a lot of bruises and stuff, but eventually you start to move as fast as she does. And that is actually exactly how you get your action surge ability.
Nice.
To get it is a full-blown training montage of like kind of wax on, wax off, but you just are able to keep up with the attacks a lot better. And after the last strike lands, you guys just kind of square off for a minute, and she just nods, backs up, sheathes her kendo stick, and actually bows properly. Still looking at you, but it's low.
He returns the bow.
Honestly, I'm impressed. I did not think I did not think one so young would come to this place. Usually your people are trained in isolation for a very long time before the outside world ever sees it.
Circumstances as they were, I have been disowned by my family. As convenient and welcoming a place as this is, it was one of very few options.
I can respect someone who looks for redemption. My clan has studied this in the blade for a long time. I think we will be able to help get you to something that will make your lineage proud. And before we're done, when you think you've earned it, she points to the banner that is still attached to her back. We'll need to get you one of these so that everyone will know who you fight for.
That would honor me greatly, Sensei.
That you say the word sensei, and it's just gone from this stone cold, like pissed off orc chick to like all of a sudden just like leans back and like gives this big like kind of girly grin at Sloane, like, called me sensei. And you just hear from like muttered from Sloane, like, don't let it go to your head. So through rigorous exercise, you pick up your action surge ability, which is pretty mighty, and it lets you take additional actions on your turn in combat. Not an easy thing to do, and it's only a fighter thing.
It's nice.
It's nice. It's very nice. So by the time your training has ended, you are both covered with welts, and boy, do you kind of feel better.
Just a huge swollen iron.
Fighters. Fucking masochists.
Fighters.
Gotta love the pain.
Gotta love the pain. Alright, well. Do we have any volunteers, or who's gonna go next? Or are we gonna keep rolling?
Let's keep rolling.
Let's keep rolling, see what happens. D6.
Yeah.
D6. So last time was 1. 6. Alright, well, this isn't the order that I expected this to go in, but this will be fun. So, we are doing this in order of how I see everyone on my webcam screen. So at the very bottom of 6, we have Yasana.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
The dice hath spoken. So, going from a very rigorous physical training exercise to more of the area of the mind, we move way down to a very different Hall of the Adventurers Guild. So, when you got dropped off here, you were met by the head of the warlock class, another figure who hasn't actually shown off his face yet, armored, who just introduced himself as Zinroth. I'm gonna move him off to the side here. So, how are you finding the guild so far?
There's some potential to learn from here.
That is exactly our goal. Let me show you around. And you follow this faceless warlock figure into it's a creepy fucking hall. And what you see here is very much it. They are sculpted almost entirely out of obsidian, to the point where you can, even as you walk, Gisana, you always have had a idea of like sense of like, is something magic, is something arcane? Stupid question. Everything in here is arcane. There is a steep drop, and off down the corridor you can see it looks like a little altar of some sort in the middle, and as you look up to the basically the top of what looks like it's some kind of dark cathedral, the outcroppings as you like look underneath, they look like hooded figures looking down. And all of the sigils and markings over it are in different tongues. Some of them you can't read, but you can identify most of them just by looking at them. Some of them are abyssal. Some of them are fiendish. Some of them are in deep speech that you know well. Some of them are written in like languages adopted from the Feywild. All sorts. As this figure walks you towards this edge of this pit here, without really thinking about it, he just steps forward onto nothing and keeps walking across this expanse like there's ground under him. He's not even looking back to see if you're following. He just walks. It looks like he's walking on nothing. Do you follow along behind?
I do.
When you stick your foot out in a measure of faith, because you look down and it's one of those drops that is like a Star Wars drop. It just goes down
Ends
so
in
far
nothing.
you can't see the bottom at all. You put your foot out over the breach and put your foot down, and it honestly feels like more stone. It's there. You test it. It feels solid. And you just start walking after him, and it just seems to be an invisible walkway. Fits with the creepy motif, I guess. It's one of these places. And Zinrath talks quietly the whole time. He's not, you get a sense of this voice of his could take an oratory tone if it wanted to. Could be much more exuberant if he so chose. He's not. It's low and kind of subdued. This class hall comes with some history. The guild is actually very, very selective of warlocks that they allow. I don't think I need to tell you how many different cults and people who've bargained with dark powers could be a problem, either a PR problem or simple power-hungry psychopaths. I will have you know, he turns once you get to the middle altar to look at you, that the Veiled Eye is one of those cults that has been approved by all of the leaders of the guild. We were actually contacted by Nixalagos himself on your behalf. Those aren't small names. We're impressed.
Yasana kind of tilts her head at the mention of her former coven master.
He thinks that you have a great deal of potential. So do I. So, there's actually less to show than one would probably think. He gestures around to the statues of the bowed heads, and on those you can actually see each one of those statues seem to have either pictographs or language of a different language. One of them is definitely infernal. One of them is definitely abyssal. One of them is definitely deep speech. A low green glow coming out from there. As you know, our kind isn't much for physical training as some of the group that you came in with. Our faith is about communion. It is about becoming closer with those who grant us power. Here we mostly offer meditation chambers if I am to be correct. Yours is over there, and he points at another, towards the statue with the deep speech in it, which also looks like it has no walkway to it, but a clear ending point where there's probably another invisible fucking walkway. The meditation chambers, and more importantly, we do keep a well-stocked library. A library whose access to it will increase as you increase in your class ranking.
Good.
Should you need anything, it is that way. The rest of these halls are meditation chambers. Everyone mostly keeps to themselves, but should you need anything, the members here are usually helpful. At least within these walls. We are all part of a team.
I honestly would not expect it any other way.
That is why we run it the way we do. Compared to the other class orders, I feel that we have the most to prove. The most distrust sits around us, and we have proved ourselves useful enough times that they are not immediately raising torches and pitchforks. If you need anything else, please let me know. And then, you've seen people do spellcraft before, both in this life and the next. So, you know what a dimension door looks like when it goes off? Yeah, he waves his hand. A portal appears. Give me a quick Arcana check. Nice. Without even a little hesitation, you pick up exactly the vibe of this one. A warlock's magic is usually tainted or tinted, what have you, towards that of their patron. It is definitely a red glow. And as he steps through the portal and it closes behind you, can definitely tell that this particular warlock is probably of the infernal variety. So not demons, but devils. With an 18, you can pick the difference between hellfire and shadow flame. You know that. And you are alone in big, creepy temple. To commune or raid the library as you see fit. What would you like to do?
I'm going to the library first, of course.
All right. Another invisible walkway. It's a little less harshly lit in this room, and instead of everything being out of carved obsidian, there are simple wooden bookcases. All of the tomes on it there are many, for one, and they are clearly labeled with Roman numerals that, quick glance, you can tell corresponds to your rank in the Adventurers Guild. As you approach the one that's labeled like 1/2, your medallion that you got from the Adventurers Guild does a little pulse, and a field seems to drop from around it. Some kind of arcane wall drops, and you're able to get in and mess around with the books. What kind of things are you looking for in here?
There's 3 things I'm looking for right now.
Okay.
One, something to boost my spells a bit, at least one of them.
Mm.
Give it a little more oomph, I guess. The second one, a means to keep myself alive longer should the rest of my team falls and I need to flee. And 3, the origins of a coven that were once beneath this place.
So the thing that you guys went through the dungeon in. Okay. The books here are kind of historic, and this is definitely, whereas if a wizard would engage in going to like the public library and the well-read things, sorry Matt, the very nicely organized things, this shit is like what you would find like in one of those weird magic shops in a town. All the books are like of different sizes, all different authors. Some don't have authors at all. Some don't have labels on them at all. Leather wrapped. But there are histories that you can find. Spending some time going through the research, since you just have access to these books. Histories of known cults and accepted cults is one of the baseline Warlock tomes. Both as a... so Warlocks can kind of keep an eye on, like, what would be, like, an okay group to associate with and what is something that would probably send us down a bad path. And also, history. As far as the coven that was underneath where you now stand, you find exactly what you're looking for. A lot of the lore of whatever the hell rested under the AG has either been lost or very carefully redacted. And that has been recorded. What is known and is available is that it used to be a temple of some kind of fiendish nature. Whether it's demons or devils, you're not really sure. But the original heroes that formed the Adventurers Guild defeated the cult there, sealed it, and decided to build their home on top of it to make sure it never got out. The specifics of that are kept intentionally vague. So it was definitely something from either hell or the abyss. But at this early stage, you can't really find out too much else. Digging through other books to increase your spell potentials and stuff, that's a lot easier. That's digging through spell tomes. You've been doing that for quite a while. And you find basically exactly what you're looking for with the invocations and the new spells that you have picked up. Just reading it You're able to mutter a few words finally, and you can feel that the Eldritch Blast that you've been using,
Not so well.
and you feel it like click a little bit better, and how to use the literal force of your personality to project that pain into somebody else. So you find all three of the things that you were looking for easily enough. It's not hard to find a abjuration and defensive spells. The books are there, and it just takes time for you to go through it. And as somebody who doesn't really need to sleep as much as everybody else,
I can spend quite a while studying.
I think you found the place that you're going to haunt for a few days.
Oh, yes.
So your power also grows. Before we move on to someone else, is there anything else that you would want to do at all? Or is Yasana just happy shoving her head in the book?
There, something like a training dummy in the sanctum.
Ironically, not far off the library, there are a few very like Warcraft style training dummies, like bits of straw put together, things that would be easily flammable, but atop stones so the fire's not going to get anywhere. So the warlock could set something on fire, feel really good about themselves, and not have to worry about the cleanup. Yeah, that kind of stuff's there.
Okay. I'm gonna study for a while, one of the books, and then taking the knowledge that I've gleaned from it, I'm going to step out to one of those training dummies and attempt to cast a new spell.
Go for it. See what we got.
See.
Doesn't move very much, so 10's easily enough to hit. Witch Bolt. I'm gonna click show description because I want to see what that shit does. Crackling blue energy lances towards a target, forming a sustained arc of lightning between you and the target. On a hit, it takes D12 lightning damage. On each of your turns, you can use it to deal D12 lightning damage to your target automatically. Yikes.
Limited power.
Ah! Wonderful.
Execute Order 66.
That's pretty great.
I, for one, am really excited about this new Obi-Wan Kenobi series, by the way.
Hell yeah, it's gonna be neat. All right. Yasana seems to be doing pretty good for herself. Do we have any volunteers who's gonna go next? Or we want to keep rolling because we're gonna keep getting roll-offs, I'm sure.
Oh, keep rolling. Let the axe fall where it will.
The axe
Do the
fall where
roll.
it wills.
Or the big hammer.
Well. Sophie.
Yes.
We, as I scroll through my notes here, are going to move to you. When you were last left off, you were shown to the Cleric Hall, which is kind of a more similar in tone to where Yasana is, but much more of a different flavor of it. A big cathedral. You knew that the outside of when you saw the outside of the AG building, it was pretty big. You weren't really sure how big it was. This is a nice structure. And as you walk in, you do see altars and altars and altars and altars of loads of gods. You can identify a lot of them easily enough because there's like the prime five that most people worship just by population wise. Just numerically, they have prominent displays. As you stroll through, you're keeping an eye out for things, and you do not, even a little, see hide nor hair of Lolth in here. Not a bit. And the more you look around, because you're well studied in religion, the more you look around, the more you see, like, and very versed in the whole thing of law, chaos, good, evil, the alignment scale, which in the world of all D&D isn't so much semantics in like things you can philosophize over. Good and evil are real things, real forces that have extraplanar things that fuel them. Law and chaos are the same sort of power, and that is where your alignment system that we use on character sheets comes from, is actually all coming from a real place. Because you know as much as you do about religion, you know what an altar of of various evil gods should look like. They are not in this house. There are no evil deities present here whatsoever. And, lest we forget, you have been accompanied through here so far by a woman who has introduced herself as Estrid. Tall human woman, armed with a sword and looks like a pistol.
I feel it must be said here. She protect, she attack, but most importantly, she a snack.
He's so cute.
Let her catch you saying that.
Knowing P, she would.
So
You just wait.
Estrid and Fia walk, and she just says, "Welcome. We haven't had a new recruit in a little bit now. How are you holding up so far?"
I am just glad to be here.
And
It was
I assume that your party is glad that you are here as well.
I would hope so. We've gotten along fine so far. I don't think that I'm exactly what they expect.
You know, we never are. That is a thing that it's about as old as time. That's what we do. We support. It's not really well celebrated so much, but every community has those who kind of hold everything together. You know? Every community has people who put together meals for folks and just get things ready in the small sense. And they're really the glue that hold things together. That's what we do here for our parties. With what you've seen of them so far, what do you think of them? Do you think that both they are worthy of your protection? And do you think that you are worthy to protect them?
He will take a moment and sort of recount the time. Um, but after like a not quite brief pause, she'll say, some of them are very young, and
There's a knowing
it
smile.
uh, and I think there will be growing pains among our party as things progress. But I do think that they all have good intentions. And I was more than impressed with their skill and their kindness as we moved through the trial. I was quite surprised to hear that one of my party members may, in fact, be older than me. It's not something I hear often. Um, but I do think that they are worth protecting, and I can only hope that I will be deserving of the protection that I too need.
Well, you'll be happy to know that that was the right answer. And also, because I know you just finished that horrible trial, and she leans over, this huge, like, Nordic woman. She's tall, like, she's as tall as you. Like, leans over and picks up a goblet of very clearly, like, sacramental wine, and just passes it right over to Fee, like, you'll need that probably. It's been a day.
Oh, you are a woman after my heart. Thank you.
We try. As expected, there is a small place here for everyone. If you need anything, let me know. We tend to help serve food for the guild in the kitchen. If you want to participate in that, there's a light practice area around the back in the corner. If you need to practice any of the martial skills, we don't specialize in it, but we have a small place for it. And this will mostly be a place where you can just catch a quiet minute if you need it, because gods know we need it.
From your lips to their ears.
Speaking of, she gestures with a hand towards the various statues and altars and stuff. Who am I showing you to?
You did say that all faiths were welcome. Are drow gods welcome as well?
She just has a very patient smile on her face and just says, give me the name, dear.
Alistrai is my goddess.
There's a very warm, glowing smile on her face. You will fit along very well here. And kind of takes you by, puts a hand like between your shoulder blades and leads you out. And it's not really in the main hall. If you were to take the reference image here, it would be behind one of the pillars. There are several, the back stone walls have several recesses in them that have little statues and things pushed back into the wall to give themselves a little altar space with like a little, each one of them has a different type of cloth on the ground in front of them. And she leads you past several that you've seen around to the point where you see, done in very nice artwork, a picture of the full moon. A female form with hair all the way down to her ankles that she's very much in the nude in the artwork, but the hair very artfully covers everything with a dancing with a longsword. And Estrid isn't dumb, and as soon as she sees your eyes do that little, tiny little light up, she just smiles, takes her hand off your back, and just removes herself from the situation, leaving you to do whatever you need to do. And you get in a hall this big. There's a few clerics moving around, a few people carrying like washcloths or food, but it's pretty quiet. The cloth in front of it isn't so much actually a cloth. It's this little square of indented into the floor that looks like it's been filled with earth, and there's grass growing on it. So there's a little piece of grass in front of the altar.
So very methodically and very carefully, she will remove her armor so that she is not covered in metal, and in what remains of her clothing, which is fairly tattered at this point. She will kneel before this altar, and she sits in quiet for a very long moment, and then says, "Lady Silverhair, I am so pleased to have been here, and with your guidance, I believe that I am safe. And I had no idea these people would be the group that I am entrusted with, but I am grateful to you for what you have done and for what you have brought me. I hope and pray and beseech you, lady, to bring safety to my family and to bring me the peace and safety and lack of recognition that I need to keep these people safe. I was unprepared to be thrust into a group this way, and I pray that you will keep all of us safe." And she will light her sword.
Before that, you've closed your eyes and beseeched this prayer. Whenever you are preparing to do whatever it is that you are going to do, when you open your eyes, you find yourself not in the same place you were a hot second ago. You are in your mind's eye at least, a glade that is just dark enough. Sun shaded. You can see there's some out there. Giving the implication that someone had just come from the Underdark to the surface. It's a beautiful glade, and in the center of it, stuck into the ground, is a very, very familiar looking longsword. You've seen it in books, in your dreams, a million times now. And as you opened your eyes to do whatever you're going to do, you're here now.
Okay, so she opens her eyes, and this is what she sees, and she begins to cry, but she does not move from her position. Instead, taking her sword, also a long sword, with a well-decorated pommel. Not unlike the one before her, but nowhere near, of course, the quality of the one there. And she lays it before her, now at the base of this other sword. And She says, with this weapon, I dance in your steps. And as I move through the world with you in my heart, I only ask for a touch of your grace and an echo of your kindness. And she'll place her sword again at the foot there, and she will prostrate herself, placing her forehead into the soft loam now, and just pause for a minute, for a long time, kind of breathing in the space and the kind of escape that this is, the peace and the light and things that she is quite unaccustomed to seeing.
As you lower your head, there's a little. You're there for long moments, enough to get your head right where it needs to go, enough for you to kind of drink everything in. And then there's this little glint that you notice. You almost think of like probably something reflecting off water or something. But when you raise your head, there's this one beam of moonlight that is coming down and hitting the blade of the sword embedded into the ground, that is reflected onto the sword that you've lain down in front of it, that is reflected back onto you. And there's a very, very quiet voice that you hear, the kind of voice that is both sweet but low, and kind of fills the entire space around you. And it very quietly just says, Lil, you've done very well.
I might cry.
Only good things. After all, I hear, and there's a little chuckle in her voice, that you're a very good person. And the moment of inspiration. She talked to you. There's no question, and there's this little thrill of like excitement and understanding and coming like a little closer to being like, air quotes, a real cleric. And in that moment, you do feel that this little rush of strength, really. A very full-blown affirmation of faith moment. You're on the right path. You're doing the right thing. This hasn't all been a fuck-up. You're doing the right thing. It's all real. You're doing the right thing. And with that, your clerical powers do actually come more to the fore. You feel them become more. You feel yourself literally grow your channel divinity power right then and there. And this moment of feeling like you could do anything. And as you feel that, as you have that rush of excitement, there's an instant where you blink. And you find yourself back on terra firma, back in the real world, although you do still rest upon a very small patch of very familiar feeling grass. Back in the hall. You look around. You're not sure how long you've been there. It's Estrid is just like somewhere else. You're kind of by yourself. And unless there's anything in particular that you'd like to do whilst in these halls. No? Okay.
Nope.
Well, as far as our other two teammates, we have two left. I either got to roll 4s or 5s Oh, 3, 4. Oh, yeah. They were missing people.
Yep.
Hey, so many players.
So many.
Do we want to keep rolling, or does somebody actually want to go next?
Let's keep.
I'll go.
Or,
I'll
okay.
go.
Haran.
Alright.
We'll just keep going down. Haran.
Yes, sir.
When you were led into this workshop,
I ran.
when you finally came home, oh god, this Discord's going crazy. When you finally made it in here, you barely had time to notice your class trainer, our wild-looking gnome chap here.
Oh, yeah.
Your very less spiritual experience, very less.
Oh no, it's a spiritual, religious
In its own
experience.
way, this guy Magnifius, as he introduces himself out, he's a little off, and he kind of talks like this. He's a little fast. He's a little fast. And he always just
Hold. Haran.
Han.
Hi.
Hi. He's a new guy.
Can I use all of this?
You can use most of it.
Fantastic.
That's the journeyman section over there.
Just right in.
I'm going to make things that blow up, and you just.
And
he.
can we not blow me up on my second day?
You won't blow up. It'll be fine. There's contained chambers and test subjects. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine.
Have you run theories and experiments? Can I help?
He turns back and looks at you, and without looking away from your gaze, he reaches over and pushes a button, and you hear something detonate. 3 chambers, probably like 3 floors down. There's a base that you just feel a little bit, and he just grins.
I assume that worked how you wanted it to, or not. Either way,
I have to check
It's-
how many pieces are left. Then I'll know if it worked. Your stuff is over there. Go.
It's knowledge. Knowledge is good. Knowledge is fantastic.
Everything is organized in alphabetical order. Here, and here. Spanners are here. Drivers are here. If you need to deal with the AI computer, it's testy. Kick it on the right side if it talks back.
Yeah. So we're using the dwarven method. Cool. I got that. Fantastic.
Dwarven method, and he like harumphs out of the room and he like hits a button on a wall, and like a little porthole opens up, and it literally just sucks him in it, and it closes behind, and he's probably gone down some tube to somewhere else, and you are just left with a fucking workshop and tools back in civilization where you can do things with your hands.
He just takes his backpack, puts it on, and dumps it on the table.
There is a less cluttered table that just has some basic things on it. Although it looks like someone else has been putting shit on your table, and there's just a little like piece of tape attached to the bottom of it, and like scribbled on it with Sharpie. It just says the new guy. So it's clear that it's your workbench.
Fantastic. Dump it on the table.
What artificer angle are we going down here?
We are building him.
We're building
We are
him.
finishing him.
Okay, so explain to me how this goes. So what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you roll with. You have a thing, but you also have a bonus that we didn't figure in last time, so we need to play with this because you have. I'm going to pull up this up. Because you have, as a racial, whenever you do your smithing tools, add a D4 to it.
Oh, nice. Yeah, forgot about that. Okay.
Because you are a dwarf that knows how to build shit. So give me smithing tools check. We'll see how this goes. These results are kind of predetermined, but we're going to see what kind of shape he's in. Fuck a doodle doo. That is a 26. So, explain to me the process of how this goes.
So
I
he
don't
takes
even need to. You rolled that high. You can tell me how this goes.
Okay, so what he does is when he dumps everything out, he pushes everything off to the side and singles out the robot the thing he's been working on. Flips it over, and he starts pulling off the bottom, and then he starts putting in. He recognizes some of the things around the room, and he starts building an energy cycler.
Okay.
So it will float.
Okay.
And then he starts building in the arms and the diodes, and he starts connecting everything in arcs inside.
Time is just passing by. He doesn't care. He's in.
He's creating arcs, and basically he's creating a heart.
A robotic heart.
An electronic heart.
Okay.
So basically what happens is the way he attaches all the pins to each other, they do little arcs of electricity inside of it. Then he closes it up and channels his energy from his gauntlets into it to give it that final spark of life. And he will use the classic line when you're bringing something that's not alive to life. It's alive! Alive!
So
as it begins to float.
This little thing that you've cobbled together is almost like a little disc-shaped head. Well, let's just give it the thing that it's due.
Yep.
This. He built this.
Oh boy.
What did you do to R2D2?
Nope, that's not what it's from, but go on.
Wally.
Not kind of close, but
Kill me.
kill me.
Damn it! Every time.
This automaton thing does lift up off the ground. It does slowly turn towards you. Its visual receptors locking onto you, and it does.
Fantastic. Your name,
Can't do Wally noise.
your designation is Kilowatt. Fantastic. I will require your assistance from now on, and we will make beautiful things together. Now on to the next thing!
Yeah, he's got a whole suite of sound effects, baby. I took time on this.
Like the little the ending of that is the designation writes on its screen kilowatt, but then it sparks a little and it's like kill a lot.
Fantastic.
If anybody says anything funny, it laughs at you.
Fantastic. That's great.
Right,
Then-
we're there.
So we are going to be retuning his pylons to scan interiorly as well as exterior.
Okay.
So we can do scans for attunements.
Fantastic.
So he takes out all the pylons and then basically adds another lens to them, so that way they will scan in a wider range. So it depends on the use.
Yep.
So you can turn them in or out.
Nice.
And now we get to the gun.
The gun. The gun.
We are going to We are going to rebuild this. I can make this better. This is so inefficient.
So the last time that we had done
that
this,
goblin,
the goblin that had disassembled this gun and probably eaten a few pieces, Haran had attempted to work with this before, but as I scroll up on the stuff from our last game, oh boy, he rolled a big old one.
yes, terrible.
That happened. 4 total. So
You bent the condenser pin.
it probably
I
is
did.
a fairly reasonable.
I was not working in a lab.
So again, you can make the attempt to try and fix this thing of goblin fuckery. Survey says that is considerably better. So that's an 18 total. So, yes, this basically comes out the way you want it to. You manage to cobble the parts from this. Essentially, it's a laser rifle,
And disassemble my blaster in the process.
and kind of mold them together into one
Franken
weapon
gun.
that has a fun
Switches.
murder, fun switches on the side that can go from murder with fire to stun.
With fire.
Toggle switches.
Toggle switches. Artificers fucking love toggle switches.
We also like putting big red buttons in there for no reason other than to watch people press big red buttons.
Somebody commune with a god. This guy needs switches on his guns.
Everybody loves a good switch. I'm just saying.
Oh!
Accurate.
Ah!
Also, note that
What you
there
did there,
not
I see.
safety. That is not the switch. They do not have a safety on it. It is always ready to fire.
No, there's a safety. Pineapple.
Pineapple is always the safety word.
In my channel, it's pomegranate.
That's fair.
Fair.
Good to know. Is there anything else Haran would want to work on before we move on here? Pomegranates everywhere.
Yes, he's actually going to use one of his new infusions on the gun.
Okay. What are you doing?
I
Go ahead and throw it in the chat if it's an ability that you're using.
am.
I made a whole bunch of notes for this, and I don't really need a lot of them. Haha.
There.
Now.
You like it, Scarlet.
Now it's a +1 gun.
And does not reload.
He has a magic clip that
Infinite
restores.
ammo!
He's got the cheat codes. Actually has the cheat codes. It removes the loading property. It produces its own. So it has like a new kind of like a toggle light on the side that as you fire it, the light starts going down. But then when you would reload it, it'd fill back up. So now you actually watch as when you test fire this thing a few times against like a wall or something, it starts going down, and then when it approaches where the end of the clip would be, it just back up. It works. It gets kind of hot, but you're sure that's not really a problem.
It needs
No,
that
I can-
from Futurama.
I can put it in a water cooling system. What were you saying, Rambe?
Mass Effect 1. You know, they had
Overheat.
infinite ammo, but they overheated and they had to reload that way.
No,
Yep.
And they changed it.
there's no reload. There is only ammo.
Well, they had to cool the clip down.
There is no reload. There is only ammo.
He will
Yeah.
shoot forever. He's got gloves. he'll
This is
pick up that-
Raytog's. This is Raytog's weapon. If I just made this a minigun.
Oh no, that's a different thing. We'll get there.
I can. Yeah, I'm sure he has that ability on a machine gun.
We'll get there.
Yeah, I'm sure.
All right. So, lots of stuff going on with Haran. Are you cooking up
me to
anything
church,
else?
I worship like
Yeah,
a dog.
Yeah, but wasn't this touching as mine though?
Yeah, no, in its own way.
There was a lot of touching happening on that table.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of touching.
It's-
It was very touching in his heart.
Other places.
Maybe not as emotional as yours, but you know.
There
touching.
is, like, in this whole time that you are doing this, there's only one portion where suddenly there's a noise on the ceiling, another porthole, like, opens up from the ceiling, and the fucking gnome just, like, shoomp, like, right out onto the ground, instantly walks over, grabs something, and just dives through another one. Like, it's some... You get an idea that this fucking gnome has basically made this section of his, like, area to work and things kind of like a big, like those kind of enclosures that hamsters have with all the tubes that lead to different rooms.
Yeah,
He's done that, but
that tracks.
but it's on crack.
That tracks. They're pneumatic tubes. That's all.
Yeah, does it make the thump sound? Does it go thump
It
every
does.
time he comes in and
Every
out?
time.
No, good, good.
Fantastic. How big are the tunnels, out of curiosity?
So he's a small-sized creature, but it would be
Okay.
big enough for a medium-sized creature to go through, not a large-sized creature.
Fantastic.
You could make use of this.
Okay. I'll get there eventually.
Is
And-
not so whimsical.
Actually, as you pass by these things, some of them, as you walk by, your medallion resonates with them, and you walk by the first one, red light comes on. Walk by the second one, red light comes on. You go through a couple more of these until you find one of them that does light up green. It opens, and if you go through it, it's basically just a parts room. Like, this is where you need to go if you need more shit that you don't have right now. And it looks like there's a giant, like, there's like a couple racks. Some of it is sort of organized, and then some of it Magnetheus got to. It's on the floor. It's just all over the fucking place. So you'd have to, like, root through basically a child's toy chest to find, like, the shit that you would need.
I'm also going to grab a bag.
That's easily enough to do. Yeah, you could just get a bag.
That's
It's a regular
fantastic.
bag.
I'm going to attune it.
Okay.
I'm going to make it a bag of holding.
You can do that because
I
you're
can.
a fucking artificer.
It's happening, Mizui.
Draw holding win.
No. No.
Yes, I can do that.
But it's like, listen, Tog, it's not any different than having like a binder, okay? It's just space holds the titties.
It's... We're talking about pocket dimensions here. Things
Full
can
of titties.
things can
Full
go
of
wrong
titties.
with that. Things can go
Beginning of
really
every
wrong
game,
with that.
have her roll a percentile. If she rolls a 1%, then something weird happens with her titties. Otherwise, just let it be.
Then the titty monster gets her. It's fine.
Oh, there
Or
is
you wind up like
Bag
a
man gets her titties.
or you wind up like a historical Amazon. That's not good.
I listen as a swords person who has boobs who's tried to wield a sword. I get where the Amazons were coming from. Have you ever tried to wield a sword with boobs?
I can't say that.
Most of our women have held swords with boobs.
They get in the way. Listen, women, tell me. They get in the way.
I'm gonna say
Scarlet,
My-
sound
my
off
wife-
in the chat on that
my
one.
wife has more problems with archery than sword fighting.
That's why the Amazons got rid of one of them.
Mm-hmm.
There.
It was the
Yeah.
thing.
Yep, she's not wrong.
So now, with our party having bags of holding in their possessions
gonna be-
already,
It was gonna be cleavage holding, not borrow titty holding.
it disappears into the thing like an anime.
Yeah.
God.
Whatever, anime sci-fi, it's fine. It's fine.
Where do you keep your pens?
I want to be a giant robot.
We can do that.
We could do
That
that.
is exactly actually the route I'm going.
Oh boy. Oh
Girls dig giant robots. Guys dig giant robots. I dig giant robots.
I see the Megas XLR reference you're making, and I
I thought
appreciate it.
I thought bitches love cannons.
Those two.
That's
those are the
true.
same thing.
It can be both things.
I'm sorry I derailed us.
It's perfectly fine because we have 2 left. Rambe, you want to go first? Matt, you want to go first?
I prefer to bring up the rear.
Oh, I bet you do.
Well,
I hate to see you go, but I love to watch you leave.
so
Yeah, I love the way he sachets down the.
this fucking team. So Harambe, you've been voluntold.
All right, that's fine. I get voluntold a lot.
That is a thing that happens. So
Harambe, do the thing.
Which thing?
Doesn't matter, do it.
See, he's like, which one? I'll do it. He just does it. So, on the other side of the Adventurers Guild, in a distinctly more dank and creepy cave, this definitely looks like it is. It reminds you a lot of every den of thieves that you've ever been in when you get in here.
I'm home.
Very much. It really feels like it. You see, there are people who have set up shops that look like they're clearly fences. People who their whole purpose is like identifying and seeing what kind of stuff people have brought back, how much they could sell it for, get rid of goods that have been obtained in a less than legal way. There are a few merchants around selling some of the shit that they've acquired. There are a few job postings hanging around for like, this noble fucked me over, steal his like red diamond. Kind of, it's kind of like the quest board downstairs, but it's only for like petty shitty people. And very specialized side quests, if you would. Things that if you could pull off, maybe you could make a little extra coin on the side, sort of thing. And as you make your way into this place of your new home, there are definitely there's thieves about. None of these. It's a little different than the other thieves' dens you've been in that there's all when you walk into places like this, you know just by looking, there are people who are like 2-bit thieves. And then there's people who are like staunch professionals. You have been in this business a bit, so you can tell them kind of just by eye. And then you remember you're actually in an adventurers guild, and the whole 2-bit variety just aren't here. Everybody present is garbed in some form of either leather of old style or high-tech armor that is easy to move in. You see somebody who's just like walking along and like flicks something on his like shoulder pad, and a full-blown like cloaking predator style goes over them as they just like disappear and wander off. You can still see the movement a little bit, but then you lose it. Although because you are who you are, you do note that when they did that, they were heading for the exit, and they weren't headed for you. So, probably not a threat. Probably. But you look around at all the people here. It's hard to have a stance that isn't close to the weapon belt, because it's all thieves. It's all rogues. It's all assassins. Probably all pirates. As you come in... Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just
I'll let
saying,
you
I'm
go.
at home.
You are at home. As you come in, a woman does approach you. As before, a pale skin, blue eyes that are don't actually have any whites to them or pupil, just solid blue. Pale skin. Kind of walks up, looks down at you. So you're the new guy that I heard all this about.
That I am. May I make your acquaintance?
I'm Tally, and I'm your boss.
I do enjoy having a good boss to teach me things.
Good. Good. This is probably going to hurt then.
What's life and learning without a little pain?
Is similar to Fee's experience, although you didn't see it at all. I may be co-opting someone's character here. Instead of picking up, say, sacramental wine, as Fee got, Talion walks over, casually, like, 2 fingers, picks up a square-bottled bottle of whiskey, hands it to you. Probably going to need this. If I remember right, you got your ass blown up a few times on the trial. Am I wrong?
You are not wrong. I did get blown up a few times.
It gets everyone. Don't worry too much about it. But
a few times. The only one.
We're gonna work on it. So we know at least a little bit about you already, because you haven't been shy about letting people know your roots. You used to run smuggling, right?
And this is why we don't talk.
Word got around, and honestly, groups here, you're probably not going to have much of a problem with them. Thieves Guild has rules, and we're going to talk about them right now before the pain starts. Take a hit of that. And she pulls up like a barrel, just like an old style wooden barrel, and sits on it, and there's just like another one there for you too. Here's the rules. Don't steal from anyone in the guild.
Aye.
That one's easy. You probably know the punishment for that already.
I can only assume.
2, you don't rat anybody out in the guild. Simple.
Easy enough.
Most of these people don't really keep too tight a company, but once in a while, we can run jobs together. Dealings can get complicated, so you don't rat anyone out.
Aye.
And the last, most important one. If you get caught, you hide that. And she points at your Adventurers Guild medallion. Because if you get caught, you don't bring heat back home.
Aye.
Steven over there, and she points at points at a tabaxi, which, if people who are not familiar with D&D terms and more Skyrim, it's basically a Khajiit. Steven's over there has had to swallow that thing 3 times. You do what you gotta do.
Oh, don't worry, I'll put a collar around his neck and we can blow him up. I mean, what?
I'm watching you, Haran. All right.
I'd like to point out that you were the one who wanted to blow things up, Harambe.
Yes.
Yes, not each other, but things that were in our way.
Oh, says the guy who dropped a hammer on one of our parties. All right.
Picky, picky.
It was an accident. I was trying to drop it on the thing he was
Oh.
fighting.
It's
It was
all
an accident.
it's all coming
I'm
apart.
a good person.
Coulda,
Wait, what?
shoulda, woulda.
It's all coming apart.
So, can we recap the rules? Don't steal from anyone in the guild.
Mm-hmm.
Rule 2. I'm actually
Forgetting
drawing
them
a
already.
Let's see. It was another don't rule. Short-term memory is not working in my favor.
We don't talk about Fight Club.
Don't talk about Fight Club.
What was the second rule? Trying to write them down.
She gets up,
Free soda
grabs
drinks on Fridays.
grabs the bottle off you, takes a quick swig, and goes, "You'll do fine. Come on, we're gonna do this."
I know number 3 was to hide the guild badge if I get caught, but what was number
Oh,
2?
good. I'm glad you remember that one.
Gonna have to hide it way up there, Alton. All the way up there.
That's fair. I'll take a punch right now if you tell me number 2.
Oh, can I punch him? Oh, please let me punch him.
My short-term memory might not let you have number 2. She just
What
does
is
patch you.
memory?
Oh, hey. We got Iggy, thank you. We got some nonsense going on here. So Tali does kind of pat you on the shoulder, goes, and really goes, "You'll be fine." Tell you again later.
Fair enough.
We got to get you to work.
All right.
You see, she says, the secret to a lot of these things is making sure you're not noticed. Being fast. And how to get out of trouble. There's a lot of ways you can do this. And she kind of walks behind a pillar. And when she walks out the other side, it's all kind of like different. You'd have a second where you're not really sure what you're looking at, because when she walks around the pillar, she's wearing the same clothes, same fine leather armor, fur, all that. Face is completely different. Human woman, red hair, green eyes. The trick is always having a trick. That's what you're going to learn today, buddy.
All right. I like the sound of that.
Obstacle course. Let's go. And
Aye,
you are led down. Basically, the whole place looks like it's built like under a mountain or something, with cracks leading up, and it looks very kind of haphazard, almost like it was built in a ruin of something else that has been retrofitted into a thieves' guild. And there is a big open area that is kind of almost set up like a minotaur's maze. And at a higher point, you can kind of see the top of it and the layout of it briefly. And you see in that maze, there are corners that have looks like a camera planted up in a corner and like a red beam that moves as it tracks left and right. There are bots, not full like automatons or warforged as builder, but like small framed like droids from Star Wars essentially that are patrolling certain hallways. And this far up you can spot just one or two wires that go across the hallway. Definitely tripwires. And Tally looks at you and goes, and that's all you're getting. Down these stairs. You're going to run this until you get to the end.
Aye, aye. I also, side note, remembered the second rule. It was don't rat anyone out in the guild.
I might like you. Did better than Stivens already. You dirty old cat! There's a grumbling from far off. And so you are brought to a Minotaur maze, basically. And you are made to run this obstacle course until you can make it through to the other side, dodging cameras, dodging traps, and trying to get around and sneak by patrolling guards. So what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you give me acrobatics check for this. See how it goes. It's respectable. You have a little bit of hard time at first. You're trying to like feel it out. There's a few moments where you were like rounding a corner and it's probably fine, and then you see this like line, like this cone of red start to shift for you, and you like back up against the wall. It gives you a very like Metal Gear Solid kind of vibe to it. And it's like layered. It starts off easier and then it gets progressively more difficult, and then you're starting to use all of these skills at once. There are panels in the floor that if you step on, like a thing that is padded comes out of the wall and like swinging about, would be about gut level on somebody else, but it's about right eye level for you. And you barely make your way through it. But as the trial goes on, like, you start to get the hang of it. It starts to pick up steam. You start to really get the knack of it. And pretty soon, you are ducking and dodging and, like, getting between traps and stuff pretty easy. You see these patrolling droids coming closer, and you're able to like duck behind boxes and stuff, like right at the nick of time, easier than it was before, because you're practicing and practicing and practicing. And by the time you get to the end, it's another fucking lockpick puzzle. When there's like 2 more droids like coming in, you got like 15 seconds to do it. And you get in there. You fucking notice the trap this time. Disable it. Get in the lock. Door pops open when you're sure, from having run this so far, you have exactly 1.5 seconds to get through the door. Pops open. You squeak through right at the end, and it shuts behind. And you're sitting there like, this took everything out of you. You're panting. It's rough. And then standing there at the end, arms folded, probably Tally. Same outfit. But instead of that, the red-haired woman, long black hair that is framing a, like, ruby red skin, horned tiefling. Just smirks, fangs. You know? I think we can make something out of you yet. Good barrel. And she slaps you on the back, hands you it's mostly full thing of whiskey. Let me show you around the place. And, like, happily leads you off. Through those trials, that is what you managed to learn exactly what you wanted through that whole fucking dungeon. You get your ability to use your cunning action, which is like being able to hide as a bonus action, or dash, or disengage. That obstacle course gave you all of those things.
All right.
You knew what you wanted, you knew what you needed, but you just didn't have the chance to do it. You've got it now. So in this den of thieves, before we move on, is there anything that you want to do?
As a matter of fact, there is. I go to one of the merchants,
Mm-hmm.
and I say to them, I hold up the silver necklace and the quarterstaff that I have and say, what do you give me for these?
Oh, that's a rare item, stranger.
What are you selling? What are you buying? I'm not bringing Tim into this. Tim's not here.
Could be.
Maybe Tim is here. This would be where he'd hang out.
He's
No.
everywhere.
No, I'm not doing that. He only can go so far. He can't get in my game too. You go up to it's looks like an elven woman. Kind of short, dirty brown hair. Ears come out like farther than her shortcut hair does. It's got a little bit of an accent, and she kind of looks down like, and what are you trying to sell it to her again?
A silver necklace and a quarterstaff.
Is there a gold price on the silver necklace?
10 GP.
You get 4.
Is this up from the dungeon? This is from the trial.
Aye.
I think I saw who brought that down in there. Didn't do him real well, did it? All right, so kind of looks at it, pulls out like a little monocle, like an eyepiece, looking at it. Yep, that's about right. So, here's the deal, son. There's usually not a lot of exchanging and buying of things to be had in the AG, right? They've got this deal where they don't technically sell items or trinkets or magical items, armor, weapons, all that here, because they've got this deal with all the merchants outside, right? So that they can make some money, so that they don't bitch that all the adventurers don't go to the shops. You unload stuff here, we'll see what we can hook you up. And she passes up, it's like 15 gold coins up.
All right.
I'll do that. Keep your nose clean.
Aye.
And
Wouldn't dream of doing anything else.
And if you find any luck boxes you can't quite get open, bring them to Lena. See what we can do. She taps herself as she says her name.
That's why I pay the monthly subscription.
Melina, you said?
Lena, Lena.
Okay. Okay.
Yep. It never comes over right over the mic. So, I think we've waited enough at this point. As Alton completes his trials, and we're about due for a break pretty soon, but we got to get to the last of our number.
We can do a break.
You want to do a break first?
If everybody's wants.
You just
Big
want to build that
picture.
anticipation. You just
I
want
am
it. We're going to do
builder.
it.
I am a builder of anticipation. That's what I do.
Wow.
We're going to do it. We're going to do it. So we will go to break. People got to pee. I could use a restroom break. We'll be back max 10 minutes. This is a lot of fun. Hope you guys are having fun. We'll be back.
All right.
Bye, friend. Oh my god, a new one. I love it.
That's amazing. We can keep talking about Noodle if you want to. Where we
Oh
at?
my god.
Your mics are hot. We're coming back.
Oh, my mic is
I'm
scalded.
always hot, baby.
Oh, baby, why you burn
Welcome,
me?
welcome back, internet.
I guess I have to be the cool one to balance out.
Gonna.
We have to work on that one. Oh, fancy. Hello,
Fancy.
internet.
Hi,
Hello,
We're
internet.
back. Where were we? Oh
I'm
wait,
Zooey.
I know exactly where we were. So as we slowly
Last and definitely least.
come out of the thieves' quarter of the Adventurer Guild, with Tally leading Alton off to
His death. I mean,
hit-
what?
the bunks where he'll know he'll be able to get some rest, and it's kind of like almost in like a makeshift crypt. It really looks like this was like maybe some weird temple thing that they just like took over. Like no one else wanted it, so we're like, we got this, and the infrastructure just took it over. So, after showing you all of the various things, all the various people who can teach you stuff, there's a few people like Lena, for example, not only can pick locks, she's also a lockpick trainer. To see if, like, you'll work with her to increase your skill with that. And she also has, when you get enough gold, better quality lockpicks and things. Not just the mechanical Skyrim style lockpicks you're used to, but the computer box with a wire that you plug into an electronic door that'll hack it. If you can do the little mini game, because lockpicking's always a mini game.
Always.
So after showing you around, showing you your quarters and where you can get a rest for the night, you receive a very firm slap on the ass as she walks away and leaves you to your and drinking yourself to sleep because you just got to keep the bottle of whiskey.
I say, wait a minute. If you're gonna slap me on the ass, would you like to share the whiskey with me?
So,
Take your shot, Alton.
so
Take
still as a tiefling, she kind of like shrugs one shoulder, and you see a little bit of like finger over her shoulder. She's not even facing you. Alton, I need you to make a reflex saving throw.
Oh, fantastic.
I'm sorry, what?
Reflex saving throw.
That'd be.
I just want to do that.
So, character sheet.
Yeah.
It should be next to the stats. There'll be a little block that
It's-
says savings throws. Oh, it's dexterity saving throw.
throw.
I am
That
doing
was- you're thinking
3.5.
Starfinder.
I'm doing 3.5. I'm sorry. It's just a dexterity saving throw. You're right. It ain't bad. It was almost pretty bad. So you say that, and then at the last minute, you're like, that doesn't look right. And you stick your head to the side. Next to the wall, there's a throwing knife embedded right next to your ear. And she looks over her shoulder and says, something to remember me by, and walks out.
We have our Moroku, everyone.
I thought we already knew he was the Moroku.
Yeah, but this confirms it. Before he was just Mr. Magoo.
So you get to keep both your ears today, and you got a bottle of wine, and you're not dead. So
Nice.
it's a good day.
You're in the black.
You're in the black. It's
And
a good day.
he wanted to be in the red. Oh,
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. That did not work.
Alton just looks at the dagger, looks at the bottle of whiskey, looks at the dagger again, and just shrugs and says, "Eh, oh well," and just starts drinking the bottle of whiskey.
And
Should
if
I
you
keep
choose,
it?
if you choose to, you can get another dagger for that. You just can have another dagger because you just pry it out of the wall and it's yours.
Oh, I'm absolutely getting another dagger.
All right, I'll just drag and drop that right into your inventory for you.
Wait,
so
make
you
him
don't
do a
have to worry
strength
about-
check. It'll be funny.
No, no, we're not going that. We're not going that hard. We're not going quite that hard.
Oops. Hold on. I'm just changing.
You know what? That's just right down here. You have 1 in there. I'm just gonna change it to 2.
Excellent. Also, for reference, if you have something that you don't have anymore, how do you get rid of it in your inventory?
So what you do, because I just did it on accident, you see the little, when you scroll to the bottom of the inventory, you see the plus and you see the lock. If you click the lock, it unlocks everything. You click the little red button, that will delete it.
Okay. Thank you.
There you go. Now you got 2 dagger. Cool.
Yes.
So, last, on the other end of the Adventurers Guild, in the quarters specifically designed and kept for barbarians, Builder's there. Builder has met with the big orcish keeper of the barbarian order, if you can call that kind of chaos order. But Builder has been led a bit beyond the Mead Hall front room. Beyond that, it's a little bit of a different ambiance, let's just say. There's a lot of orcish themes to it. So I'd make sure
decorated himself.
This doesn't get too overpowering. And of course, the one that you've met through all this has been Raytug. As I size this up properly for our chat here. So it's enough out of the way, and we can do this. There wasn't really a whole lot of discussion to start with. The first thing that he did when he got introduced to you is he just kind of nodded towards the back. And in front of this pit of fire, he pulled out what looked like an axe. That thing that you see in there that has like a, almost like a lightsaber-esque axe that has to be ignited. Very Marauder. You know exactly the look for it. And he just like waved. The first thing that he did to introduce himself to you is to fight you. So I'm going to have you give me, because you rage, athletics check, but with advantage. That's good. So, there's a whole thing going on here. Checking your power levels. You fought a lot of shit in your time. Most of it you can remember. Easily hardest fight you've ever had. This thing of flesh and bone is inferior to you. You just know that by the nature of your kind. This thing's tougher than you. It's faster than you. And somehow it's stronger than you. You present a mighty show. You bring every little trick you have to bear. Sword and shield, all to it. You are like pommel punching, bashing with the shield, going for the legs. Every trick that you know, and every ounce of that anger that you have in you comes to the fore. You know somebody that was in this guild as the leader of it would be hard. You did not expect it to be this hard. This is this close to being a monster as far as you were concerned. He's flesh and bone, but he can go faster than you. He can keep up with you. There's a point where your shield gets grabbed and you get thrown around off balance like a ragdoll to the point where it pisses you off enough that you come back really hard, and you both end with weapons clash together. There's like a little bit of a shockwave from it. Like, it's a test. And it just kind of meets your eyes. It nods and like pushes back with the axe and like steps back to a more of a standing position. Yeah, you've got it in you. I have to check every one of them.
I don't fault you for it. It makes sense.
Why are you here? Why are you doing this?
Because I need to get home, and you people have the resources to do that.
Getting into fights with random monsters in the dungeon downstairs doesn't seem like a way to get home. You're going to have to fill me in a little bit. And this person, whose face you haven't seen before, takes off the helmet. It is an orcish face. More orcish than human. Orcs tend to be more, full orcs tend to be more like shorter of leg, longer of arm, little bit of hunch in the back, just because there's so much muscle. This kind of half orc has all of that, but it's like the same proportions of a human. Like the same, but he's still big. He's easily as tall as you. Takes the helmet off. Has dreadlocks down to his ass. No facial hair. Eyes are kind of like a amber yellow, and the tusks are like this far up, like right under his eyes. They're big. The orc of this half orc is much stronger than the whatever the other half is. And he kind of takes the helmet and puts it under his arm, like almost a football player might. You're gonna have to help me in how this is going to get you home.
It's a long story, but I've got the time.
Well, I'm not going anywhere, and if I'm going to put you in the shape, I need to know what I'm dealing with.
Best thing that I can tell. I remember waking up maybe 1,200 years ago, and it took me a while to get here. It took me a while to figure out where I'm at, when I'm at, how I'm here. The people that I come from resemble people here, but we are different.
So you're not technically Warforged?
No.
For the interest of me not offending you, what do I call you?
You can call me Builder.
It's good enough for me. You're a person out of time, and weird ass wizard shit. He kind of spits.
Agreed. The
What?
enemy that my people have fought for millennia. I'm sure they had a presence. I'm sure they had a reason. They're probably part of the reason that I'm here. I have occasionally sensed them in my time. But if they're here, then we all have bigger problems than me getting home. But I will say after that fight, I don't even think at my full capacity I would match you. And I do feel like you held back. And I won't take that personally, because we're gonna do this again when I'm back to 100%.
Don't sell yourself short. I think we're going to get you to about 300% when I'm done with you.
That should be fun.
I've never seen one like you that fights like me. It's not a lot of emotion first. It's not a lot of... It's a lot of tactics. It's a lot of Fighters Guild shit. It's a lot of being smarter. You don't... He, like, steps real close to you. And with his big fucking knuckle, he kind of goes, "You don't fight with this." Dong dong, and, like, knocks you right on your head. It's light. It doesn't hurt, but it's enough to make a noise. You don't fight with this. You fight with this. And the knuckle goes down, and he punches you right in the chest, right above your heart. Enough for you to take, like, a step back, but not hurt you. You're different. You're fucking angry.
That's because, unlike the Warforged from this place, my species wasn't always mechanical. In fact, based on the designs I've seen, I think it's highly likely that bleed through has happened before, and that might be why you have the Warforged that look like me but are not like me.
This is alternate dimension shit.
It's not fun.
Alright, I'll give you this. I think you're in the right place for all different reasons. You say that your kind has an ancient enemy that you have been fighting against for a long time. Else, everything comes undone and gets destroyed, right?
That sums it up.
You're in the right place. Same thing, probably different enemy.
Let's hope. Though I'd run into battle with you any day.
The grin that you get is actually horrifying. If this was anybody else in there, this is full manic glee of something that could probably tear everybody's head off.
Like an intern walks in the room, looks at the smile, immediately turns around and walks back out.
The Barbarian Hall goes through a lot of interns. But he kind of calms a little bit and looks, goes, people didn't all used to be just a machine. You're not like ours, where there were people before, humans and whatever else, that put themselves into mechanical bodies. You like this. You've got soul in there. Fighting brings you back memories, right?
It does. And unfortunately, with the length of time that I've been awake, I have a lot of blank spots to fill. We weren't meant to be awake this long. We were meant to be awoken, serve a purpose, complete a thing, rest, rejuvenate, heal, and then come back centuries, maybe millennia later, to take up the mantle once more to keep the fight going. This is pushing the limits, and it shows. Another reason that I'm here. The supplies that this guild possesses, especially that little Tinkerer's Guild, I think they're going to be useful.
I think you're really in the right place. There's more to this. He kind of gestures around to this barbaric hall in the first place than just getting angry and fighting. There's a little bit of self-discovery. Literally, our fuel for what we do is how fucking angry we are. How you harness it. What you do with it. That's what gives us strength. And also getting the shit beat out of us.
True.
My people, my clan, anyways, we revere fire. I want to try something. Come with me. And he takes you. There's fires all over the place. There's that big hole in the roof that lets some of the smoke out, but some of them, you notice, are probably magical in nature because they don't emit smoke. They're bonfires around. And he leads you over to a particularly large bonfire. And he bids you to sit with him. He sits down cross-legged on one side of it. You get the sense that he's done this a bunch before, like this is his spot. And you see propped up against a wall near him the same thing that Tatsu saw when he was fighting his opponent. It looks like a banner of a sword, like a curved scimitar that is on fire. And he sits down across this fire from you. He bids you to sit. I assume you do. And he says, meditation can bring some clarity. I want you to think on the injuries that you have right now. I want you to think on what it is that makes you so fucking mad. I want you to think about the core of what makes you you. Let that fire burn up and see if it shows you anything. And he just kind of closes his eyes and sits there. What is in Builder's mind right now?
I see darkness. I see my world. I see the ship that I was on when I got pulled into yours. I see my enemy writhing, devouring, destroying everything that my people have made and seeded across the galaxy.
And there is a moment, seeing it, the thing that pisses you off. Them. Just the void that they are. And it's just being that mad and still and introspective at that level of damage. You feel a chunk of your memory, corrupted memory, repair itself. It happens, and you get a bit. Builder suddenly remembers back at the war. Capital T, capital W. Builder remembers being in the thick of it. Frontline infantry. He remembers slaying things that should not be within these boundaries of space-time and whose hunger knows no bounds. He remembers also, shame there, that he was not well regarded by his fellows, his squad mates, or his commander. Too prone to emotion, he remembers. Too prone to going off the handle. Too prone to putting himself at risk. The words prone to at all strike up a little bit of essence of rage, capital R rage alone. He remembers blacking out in the purest anger and loss of self, being surrounded by dead monsters. And he remembers the High Command's sentence of being decommissioned for it. Removed from the coordinated military arm entirely. Too chaotic. He also remembers, after the hearing, one of his own, draped in a low hood where you could only see a little bit of his robotic mouth, approached him after the trial, offering a way to get back into the fight and how to use that emotion properly. And then the data ends. There's more. Still corrupted. But it's further now. It's like more sectors of a hard drive coming back online really slowly. But he remembers more now.
I think I've always had a problem with burning out these combat inhibiting units that they put in here.
I'm glad to hear it. You don't need this shit. And Raytog stands up, offers a hand to Builder to help him back up to his feet. It is one of those big old like wrist grab things. Pulls him up. Do you eat? Do you drink? Because I want to do both of those things. Only what?
It's gotta burn. I don't eat, but I will drink if it hurts.
This is gonna be a fucking bender. He slaps you on the back. There's like a ping, and then he does it. And he leads you back into the mead hall. And you are, basically, you and a slew of other people. There's like, only like 5 or 6 in the whole hall right now. Of all stripes and species of barbarian. And there's a little toast, and you don't really get very many of their names or anything because you're too busy going over in your head with this new stuff that you've just picked up. You feel, besides the memories having returned, more of your capabilities just flat out come online. You feel your warning systems come online as you, as a barbarian at level 2, you learn danger sense. You feel After having had the duel you did, like, maybe I could try this out. And that's where reckless attack comes from. So, drinks your head. Some of them hurt. And you are left to think and ponder and wonder where this path that you've chosen to take is going to go. I want to say probably a day or two passes before you all manage to finally get done with whatever training that you needed to have done. That you're all basically just walking around the as I get rid of this here and put on some reasonable music to meet each other around the halls. And at this point, it's basically free role play at this point. If you guys all meet back up again, where would you do it? The bar? Just around the guild?
The bar.
The bar? I can do the bar.
No, not the bar.
Yes, the bar.
Alton's not allowed to go to the bar.
I didn't destroy a toilet. I didn't destroy a toilet last time, though.
Tatsu is allowed to go to the bar still. Although, I will say, if Tatsu goes in, because you all have communicators, you can all get a hold of each other. You essentially have each other's comm numbers. You can get a hold of each other. But I will say, there is a very specific stink eye that Tatsu gets when he walks into the bar. It's weird because it doesn't really have eyes, but he knows. He knows. He just kind of looks at you. There's no. It's a bot. It's not Warforged. It's just a droid. But
Damn judgy droids.
he knows.
I won't let him drink this time. I apologize, brother.
Oh no, we're drinking.
Not at all. The droid actually gives you like one of these, and sweeps more.
Come on,
so you guys meet back up.
Let's eat and drink and party and celebrate getting through the challenge together. Who's with me?
Not I.
Well, I don't eat, I don't drink, and I haven't partied for a while. But I'm here.
I don't think I ever want to drink again.
I am quite hungry.
I'm just saying, it doesn't have to be alcohol. I'm drinking alcohol and eating food, but the rest of you can drink whatever else you want. I'm not going to force you to drink
What
alcohol.
are you offering for eating?
What's in it for us?
He just pulls out.
Oh, that was way meaner than I thought it was going to be.
He just pulls out a few gold pieces and says, "I'll pay for the meal." Firstly.
Wow.
Secondly, fee. That depends on what you want.
It's been like 3 days. Are you still horny? I'm pretty sure that your fleshy hand works for your fleshy body. I've seen anatomy of your species. Just do it already.
Not here. Not here.
The fun is in the flirting filter.
I trust everybody had interesting times in their respective holes.
Oh, it was lovely.
Food eventually does come around. Food and alcohol. And water.
You know, I do think my goddess approves of what we achieved. our group or whatever you'd like to call us that. I get a very distinct impression. We have a name.
That settles it. We need a team name.
You guys hear a sound right around exactly when he says that. It's like, yeah, you do. And it familiar to you is the voice of Eshka, who showed you around in the first place. I'll just say undead guy, turban wrapped across whatever had happened to the top of his head post-death. Nice suit.
Eshka, you desiccated so-and-so. How are you doing?
I am doing fantastic, especially because I have been assigned to be your handler here at the guild. Believe me, it could have been worse. It could have been much worse. I don't like to talk poorly about my colleagues, but is that alcohol? And he moves to like sit down with you guys.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
He scoots her chair, makes room.
First off, I have to say congratulations. You did admirably. I suspected you would. You can always kind of tell when a group isn't going to pass the trial. There's not a lot of cohesion, or there's a lot of conflicting personalities. It's not optimal. This?
We didn't have conflicting personalities?
Comparatively, it has been much worse before. This is what it looks like when
I
it...
shudder to imagine.
Speaking of which, the Bard's Hall has had its hands full, I will have you know, with the little goblin.
Yo.
He's still trying to figure out what he wants to do. Technically, he was not of your group when you went on to take the trial, so the paperwork doesn't line up, but we'll see what he wants. He could do anything, really. It is up to him. But the Bard's Hall is very loud these days, I will have you know.
I hope that little guy's having a great time.
He has eaten everything.
That's adorable.
Yes, I hope you did something about the mushrooms. I don't know how many he had.
He probably had all of them.
3 days worth. I believe he said 3 days worth.
They were gone in about 45 minutes. Goblins, in all of my many centuries of serving this guild, the only thing, if I've learned nothing else, it is that goblins party hard.
I hope he's writing beautiful music.
I am not going to get into musical theory or my opinions on thus. We have to talk about
Regardless of whether or not he can party, he can definitely come through in a fight. So any group will be lucky to have him.
Something musical is a strong beat with heavy drum.
Oh, if he gets a drummer, everyone's lives are over.
I can make him a drummer.
I think the party will just be getting started if he gets a drummer.
While I have concerns, I am not going to interfere. I want to see how this goes.
Well, I knew I liked you.
We try. So, I will be formally. Here is how we have to do things. We do need to come up with a team name simply for your register. That way, whenever you guys have quests that you go off on, or what have you, missions, there will be a way to get it to all of you at once, and that everyone will, more importantly, know who you are. Branding, as it were. We try to keep the corporate stuff as little as we can here, but team names, they were around since the beginning, and they kind of stuck. Once you figure that out, we can actually get you to your quarters. Because those two things are tied together. Because it has been prepared, but we have to program it. We will need a name for this merry band.
I hadn't considered such things. With all the nonsense going on lately, not to say that the test was nonsense. Of
It's
course.
very nonsense. You're right. You're right. But that is the point. You have any idea how many people come here seeing the movies? They think that being in the Adventurers Guild just means you are a superhero, that you can just go where you want and do what you want. There is a reason the trials are so difficult. That there needs cohesion, and it tests your sense of character as well as your abilities. We don't just accept anyone. This group here, you think you are our motley crew, but you succeeded. You did it. That is something to be proud of. And he drinks.
Fee will drink to that.
Yishka, do we have to register everyone in our group?
Yes, I would suppose so.
Then I need to register somebody. And he holds up Kilowatt.
That's fucking adorable. What do you call that?
This is Kilowatt. The Kilowatt floats up.
That's
Oh, he does tricks.
Yes, he does tricks.
I love him already. I quite look forward to this.
Yeah, she is cute.
It is an extension of me, so to speak. I can cast through him.
I see.
It is like a wizard familiar.
Believe me, we have had far stranger situations. Believe me, you have never managed a group that has had a ranger that walks around everywhere with a giant bear. The logistics are terrible.
I knew a druid with a dire wolverine.
That actually sounds hilarious.
oh, the fun that would be had with that.
But
Mostly we dealt with
I
spiders.
believe that the elf in question was trying to teach the wolverine to be vegetarian. I don't think it worked.
I reckon not.
I am not here to question life decisions. If I did that, I would get nothing else done. All I need to know is...
Anyway,
do you
this is
have an
Killer.
idea... It's good to
Killer.
meet you.
Anyway, I registered.
Fair. He will be registered as an extension of you.
Okay.
And do you have an idea for what you are to be called?
Alton slams back a shot.
I'm Haran.
As a group.
Oh.
Alton thinks and thinks and thinks until he says, I've got it. What was that whiskey we drank the first night here?
No, I'm not
Absolutely
calling
not.
ourselves Pit Fiend.
Not
Sure, it's copyrighted anyway.
It's true. I know the guy.
Sponsored.
Slammers.
Was
Huh?
this?
What?
The Pit Fiend Slammers.
No,
Absolutely not.
no.
Sounds wrong on so many levels.
That's
Oh,
We
the
don't
chill.
need that kind of chaos in this crew.
I suppose I bring enough chaos as it is.
Indeed.
Agreed.
So that's our name then.
Agreed.
No. Chaos. We're a crew of chaos.
Chaos Crew.
I feel like that's taken.
All right.
By every high schooler who ever wanted to be a part of the guild.
He flips
sorry.
through like a data pad. It's like, well, it's not registered.
You know what?
What better name for this ragtag group?
I feel like I should persuade you all to make it the Chaos Crew, unless you're already going for it.
You're doing it right now.
Think about it.
Well, if Alton thinks it's a good idea, I'm against it now.
Okay,
Uh,
the hammer was an accident, first of all. Second of all, not all my ideas are bad. You actually
Please tell me a single good one you've had.
In
Speaking
fact,
of,
I'd actually still think you should talk to a sorcerer. You might be cursed.
there is a there. Ishka goes. Speaking of, and actually points up to a wall, and there's the aesthetic of this bar is very tries to be old timey, but you can see there's like wires and pipes and stuff sticking out everywhere. So he points to one of the walls over the bar that has like a flat screen on it, and there are like still images of your trial on it, like almost like PowerPoint. Like you see Tatsu like ripping the hammer off of the wall. You see like Builder like fighting the Robo Sarge.
it's like play of the
Yasana
game or
with
something like that.
tentacles.
It's very much
God, I
play
look
of the game.
amazing.
It's very much Overwatch play of the game style, yeah.
I hope Alton nailing that whatever stone squid thing
Oh,
in
yeah.
one shot was on there.
It's all on there. All the good bits. All the good bits.
If chaos is the plan, I don't see why we shouldn't just call it.
I mean,
If
it could be marketable. It depends. the people who post quests do not necessarily see who is responding to them until they have chosen to accept. I feel like with a name like this, you will get all kinds of a certain type of attention. It's your call. This is what you will be known by.
Or they'll perceive us as a liability.
that sounds sort of like a liability.
Some people are looking for liabilities. I'm just saying.
And we'd be perfect for that. Alton just smiles.
He kind
the
of-
biggest little halfling smile he can give.
The people who are immediately flanking Eshka can see that he's like smiling, but he's hiding it behind his drink.
I mean, ultimately, the name is inconsequential. But I just don't want to give the president of Alton making decisions.
As long as when we get a ship, I can be the de facto captain, if not the XO. I don't care what we call ourselves.
Why would you be the captain?
Would
I'm
that
the
make you
captain of a
Captain
ship.
Chaos?
You
Yes,
fly
it
the
would.
ship?
Yes, I actually can fly a ship very well at that.
Me too, but
Fly the ship.
me as well. But that being stated, why do you be the captain?
I was once a captain of a crew, and quite
Okay.
frankly,
That you lost.
And where did that hat go?
when you made
Listen, we've all been through a lot together, and we've all worked out pretty well as our own captain. So let's table that discussion for a minute and just enjoy the moment. Can't
Talk
we?
is enjoying this conversation way too much.
I'm enjoying the comments that are going on in chat from Scarlet.
Champions
Okay.
helping, adventuring others selflessly.
Abbreviated to chaos.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
You know, if we don't like chaos, we can always go for the obvious.
the
What's that?
obvious,
The Moonlighters.
that sounds like something else, not adventure-y, and more classy.
That would fit right in with what you want, all right?
Gorko and the Wrecking Crew.
I'm just saying. Classy in a different way than what we are going for.
What are you trying to suggest?
What you saying, huh?
That you're whores.
Oh.
If we are going to have a team name that defines somewhat at least, who we are, we should probably make it something that really grabs the attention of those seeking the Adventurers Guild, not an escort of interesting varieties. And believe me, I've known quite a few groups of escorts of that kind. They had some interesting team names too that were rather unique and interesting innuendos.
I mean, the guys that you had to run in with before were called the Gate Crashers, so that's an innuendo if I've ever heard one.
You're not wrong. If that's the case...
That's what they are registered to as well. People do that.
Well, if that's the case, the Moonlight is on the table then. Never mind. Alton is just instantly convinced that it's okay now. He doesn't care.
It's just okay.
I do like it. It's growing on me now that I'm taking a second thought on it.
I would argue, not that you're necessarily arguing with me anymore, but that a group of escorts is a great place to hide.
Oh, I'm not even going to disagree with you on that one. The amount of times I've had to do that too.
I feel like I'll have trouble with that.
It's a lucrative venture.
I'm confused.
What
We'll
about...
get you a diaphanous gown to match mine.
What?
No, thank you.
No, certainly I wouldn't put that upon anybody else.
But yourself.
Well, it would follow with my beliefs. I simply aim to please the goddess.
What else do you aim to please?
Ishkot does one of these. He really does.
And there's that horny thing again.
I have a suggestion.
I'm listening.
There is one thing we all have in common. Things we've lost. Things we are because we are no longer a part of it. Our group name should be Fragment.
I like it, but it's not quite cohesive as a group name.
That's because it's a fragment.
Indeed.
So, we have 4 options before us.
I mean, technically, we have infinite options.
Well, so far 4 have been posed. So we have Pitfeed Slammers, Chaos Crew.
Forgot about
Why are you sneaking that in there?
and Fragment.
Oh man, that was like the kid sneaking the chips into his mom's shopping cart.
No.
I'm trying to make fetch a thing, Gretchen.
Alton pulls out. So at this point, Alton pulls out a die, and he
Not
just...
while I'm drinking.
He actually pulls out a die, a 4-sided die, a little, and he just...
No, Pit Fiend Slammers, no.
That is not on the list.
Universal no.
All right.
Chat
He,
it,
he-
Valiant effort, but no.
he was gonna roll for it, but now what? There's not a 4th option to go with to roll
Next,
for.
you'll be offering Alcoholics Anonymous as our name.
Well, now that you mention it, we could do...
Adventurers Anonymous.
Yes. Yes.
The Lost
The
and
lost
Found.
ones.
The Lost and Found.
No. Just I like the lost ones more than lost and found.
That's not
The
not
Lost
terrible.
Ones. I don't dislike it.
I've been lost for a long time. Works for me.
We'll help you
I have
find...
lost many things in my time.
As have I. Damned mutiny. Alton slams back another shot. Just says,
Maybe you weren't a good captain.
Ooh. This is going to be a bit
Alton,
You know,
volatile.
Alton just reaches for his dagger and hesitates a little bit and says, I dare you to say that again.
Please don't.
perhaps, boys.
Each other.
I dare you to draw blood with all of these witnesses around us.
Oh no, it won't be blood I'm drawing.
Actually,
Alton,
fun question, Alton.
remember
While
what
this
we
is
talked
happening, Alton, give me a perception check. A quick perception check. See what happens. Okay.
Oh.
You think you catch sight of a familiar face in the crowd. You thought it had red hair. You're not really sure.
I would like to point out that you have never been one for good ideas at this point. So think it through before you react at this point. Think it through carefully.
I never said I'd draw blood.
Yet, when you pull a weapon on somebody,
I
that's
haven't
a problem.
yet. He hesitated.
You threaten. I can see, too. I have eyes.
He hesitated to draw the dagger.
Okay?
And instead reaches in his pocket, flips
Yes.
a gold coin. But he doesn't flip it normally. He kind of flicks it at your head.
Oh, okay.
That'd be.
Can Fee catch that? Fee tries to catch it.
You know, I'm not even need rolls in there. That's fine.
Fee's like, fuck you. and you're-
Tries to do the whole like high school thing of like holding a coin and going like flicking it. And it was going to be on collision course with Haran, who would have needed to maybe make a save or something, but Fee just goes. I'll just allow that to happen.
Okay. So she catches it. And in the palm of her hand, she offers it back to him. And she says, would you like to rethink that?
Don't question my captaining abilities, as he takes the coin and continues to just dead-eye stare. No one can predict a mutiny. Keep that in
Yes.
mind before you question my captaining abilities.
Yes, you can. If you learn to read people as well as you think, you can see things coming.
You'd be surprised.
I would be, very much. But what you fail to realize, ever since we got together, that you're not as good as reading people
The mark.
as you think you are. So, maybe don't make the same mistakes that you've made in the past. Learn from them and grow. You dwell in the past, Alton Goodbear. You were a captain. You no longer are.
Respect is earned.
Not given.
Oh, I'm all too aware that respect is earned and not given.
Yet you don't act like it.
We are clearly lost in more than just the physical meaning. I think, if everyone agrees, that we could register as the lost ones.
If you are pleased with this, Eshka, who has just been sitting here the whole damn time.
Drinking and grinning like a maniac?
Yeah.
Slightly better than the grudge bearers.
Yeah. Yeah. That shit is dark.
At this point, we may as well go with the grudge bearers. Lost ones. Are we in agreement?
Acceptable.
That's fine by me.
Alright.
Alton's good with it. He just nods.
I came up with it. I don't really care either way.
Well, if that's the case, then I think I have some good news for you. And he kind of taps away in his pad a little bit. And there's a succession of beeps. And each one of you note that your medallion of the guild pulses once. You can come back and can we reserve this table? They'll be back. And one of the waiters, tiefling guy, just kind of nods and like puts like a sign up. Eshka kind of beckons for you all to rise and leads you out of the bar and back towards the main hallways. Finally, to a point where there's another door, simply labeled crew quarters, that opens. And as it opens, that you see it's just an elevator. He steps in with you and says, "Hold the medallion up to the reader."
You're quite the gentleman. And she'll lift her medallion.
There's a beep, the doors close, and there's the sound of an elevator grinding, with no irritating elevator music this time, that you have to endure through. And then the elevator slows, and right before the door opens, almost like he's done it a million times, Eshka goes, "Welcome home." And the door opens. That centerpiece there is what you guys come out of. Risen up in that.
Ink?
It says welcome home.
Or the thing on the floor?
The thing on the floor.
Oh, okay.
I was about to say, not
Yep.
the Bacta tank looking thing.
Yep. There are quarters in the back, computers for you to use, plan your missions, places to rest. There's fridge, storage, a small section of armory to store your weapons and equipment. There is one small room that contains an anti-magic field, so if you have something overtly volatile, you can put it in there and you will not disintegrate the entire guild hall. Thank you very much.
Haran immediately walks to the anti-magic field.
It's like basically only the size of like a wall safe, so it's like that big,
Okay.
that tall.
He sticks the bomb in it.
Alton, I hope Alton knows.
I knew there was a thing with you.
How many entrances and exits are there in this place?
In this particular room, elevator, emergency exit is in the back. It hits you to a ladder that goes down to the stairs.
Who has access to the rooms?
You.
Guild leaders excluded?
There are people who are higher up, who have access to quarters if they need to. That would be limited to the leaders of each individual class hall and above that. So, a small number of people in a guild of... Where are we these days? A couple thousand?
Hopefully. Known we should have to distrust.
If someone does access the room, there is a log kept. A log, by the way, he points at the computer, is kept there. You can see it. If the guildmaster comes up through this room and pays a visit, you will see on your log that he did it. That is not erased.
Thank you.
What else can that computer provide us? Information on any historical events, any news feeds, anything like that?
Oh, just there's the...
I'm sure it has the internet.
I don't want to go into how many channels you have. There is a silly amount. I particularly recommend the Eoxian a game show channel. It is all blood sports all the time. It's incredible.
Asana just kind of sighs at that.
Yeah.
Global internet, yes. News feeds. Anything that would be able to be provided in, say, a public library, you have access to here.
All right.
Just a question. It's been a little while now, and I've sort of lost track. How far are we from the capital and the council meetings?
So that the Capitol building, the the Grand Throne Room in the Council Hall, as it were, that is dead center of the city. I want to say it's a couple miles from here to there. We are relatively close, I would say. A few hours if you picked up a speeder.
Okay.
Traffic is ridiculous the closer you get to the center of the city.
Sure. And nearby, not necessarily so far, is there much in the area?
There are a metric fuckton of shops and places that are... The merchants have gone mad with trying to entice adventurers to buy their wares. They make a great amount of money here. So there is a entire district surrounding us that is full of all kinds of equipment that if you wish to purchase, they very much want you to purchase it from them.
I'm not familiar with that measurement. How much is a metric fuck ton?
He does that with his hands. He doesn't say anything else.
I'm just fucking with Yeshka. I get the reference.
You are all trying very hard to play favorites. I see your game. You're all winning. It's very disconcerting. Well, I will leave you to do what you will. Settle in if you wish. Your food is still there. They will hold the table for you. And I am very glad to have you all here. I should have said that to begin with. I am very glad
your aid.
Quite a pleasure to see you again.
He gives one of those big, sweeping bows. And
Tatsu returns the bow.
Whereas Tatsu's bow is very, formal, like you did in the sparring ring.
Mm-hmm.
Eshka is more like European butler, almost. And he takes the elevator back down, leaving you all to your own devices. With a bomb in a safe.
Before we all split up
locked
again,
the safe.
I wanted to apologize. I know that I can be a bit rough around the edges, and I attribute that to the time that I've spent alone. Doesn't make one good with dealing with people. But in the time that I've spent with you, I've gained back a little bit more of myself. So, my apologies if I offended anyone. I don't think you're less than me, even though you're made out of flesh and bone.
You see, you say that and then you add that end to it.
Well, I'll chalk that up to programming.
Have metal parts.
Well, I'm glad you're doing better.
I do want you all to know, though, that since we're going to continue this, since we're going to be a combined force, I will watch watch out for all of you as if you were my own.
I will strive to be worthy of such regard.
Oh, you're fine. I hear you're a very good person.
I feel like this is the point where I should stop the episode as everyone freezes and It's Always Sunny theme just starts playing. But teams together. Got a home, got a name, underwent some trials, did a little bit of soul searching.
We RP'd the shit out of this game.
Did.
Yeah.
And we didn't murder each other again.
Yet. There's still time.
I said again.
Yeah.
Again.
Still time. But I do actually think it's a pretty good spot to stop, unless anyone has anything else that they want to do. That is open floor. You do have time.
I am
Alden.
content.
Oh my god.
Alden just looked at everyone. I can't with that. Oh, now I can continue my thought. It says, I apologize. Haran, you're right. I am very stuck in the past. Part of that is once a captain, always a captain, no matter what happened with your ship. But the things I've seen, the things I've been through, nothing can prepare you for that. No matter how much you think that everything is fine, one day it's not. And you lose everything. And I apologize for taking it out on all of you.
That is indeed a true statement. That being stated, strive to learn. Strive to be better. Dwelling in the past is what leading you down this path that you see in front of you. You have a problem. And it's not just the recklessness. It's you're trying to kill yourself because of what happened to you. You have to move forward and move on and become something new. If you try to stay what you were, you will never grow.
For what it's worth, I can attest to that as well.
Life goes on for a very long time to be stuck in a single moment.
That
Please,
is an understatement.
and please do not think you are the only one who knows of loss.
I think I
And
found
at that, Tatsu gets up and he goes gets food.
Alton just pulls out his communicator or his watch. He pulls up his watch and looks at an old picture that he had from the old days when he was a pirate. He says, maybe it is time to move on. But not before I've made peace with my old friends.
Moving forward does not mean forgetting.
Builder will put their hand on your shoulder and look down at you. And
We all carry the past with us. Some of us, I'm sure, more than others. We never forget what made us what we are. But sometimes it's good to compartmentalize. especially in the moments when you're dropping hammers on your friends. But I will say,
And you see
So
this Warforged face that is surprisingly expressive for a Warforged that you've seen. Smile for the first time since you've all been around him.
On the other side of Alton, of all things, like the little floating kilowatt kind of like bumps up against Alton's side. Is all.
the point is,
Damn it, that's adorable.
you definitely have things to learn, like we all do. But if you make a few mistakes, make sure they're hit here on me, not them. I'll take it.
Speaking of that, I can improve your defenses if you want.
I'm always down for a good improvement.
Fantastic. He just pulls out the pigeons again.
I also would love for you to make me fly like that.
That's going to take a lot more energy. You're a little big. You're a little bigger.
I've got the framework. I'll show you later.
He's got no strings to hold him down.
I don't have any strings on me.
Thank you. That's the line. I do believe that's actually probably the perfect place to probably end our episode for tonight. There's been some team building. Y'all got a name? That was pretty good.
I really just threw out the lost ones as a joke, but cool.
You'd be surprised how often jokes wind up working. Lost ones. That's heavy.
It's kind of a lot.
It's heavy.
It's fitting.
It works a lot for Builder.
Yeah.
It works a lot for a lot of different players. I'm sure.
I knew that when I got my friends together playing a game, it was probably going to get kind of heavy. A lot of things going on.
We're
with a
all
lot
depressed.
we're not okay.
We are definitely all okay, and this is probably one of the most fun games that I've ever run. So I preemptively want to thank you guys for getting involved with this. This has been great.
Schedule.
It's actually the next thing I wanted to get to. For our audience, my work schedule for the next month is literally insane. People are on vacation. I'm the cover guy, so we're going to be taking a short break while I prep for the next portion of our game. So the next month of whatever month is next. June. It's June, yeah. So
what year is it?
What year is it? Probably not going to be a whole lot of stuff going on in June. If we get a spare second, maybe we'll try and squeeze something in, but it's leaning more towards probably not. July? July sounds like a pretty good spot to start a season 2, as it were. It's felt like a season already. It's been almost double.
Chapter 2.
That's fair.
Level 2.
Level 2. Level 2.
Please, let's not have a chapter per level. That's a lot.
That is a lot. It's not going to take that long. Let's not do that.
Good.
Now that we can actually, do stuff.
Yeah. Abilities and things and stuff. So
I meant get missions.
yeah.
Thanks.
Take the one that says certain death.
That's always the fun one.
They always pay the most.
So thank you guys for joining us. Thank you all for playing.